So there were several questions about cryptocurrency, and then in case if the cryptocurrency is held as an investment, traded, or even received as salary. So this video is a deep dive on several frequently asked questions on that. So how is crypto tax defined in the bill? So according to the provision, there is a flat tax on the profits. So in case of, if you want to look at more details, you can look at section 115 DBH. But in simple terms, it's a flat 30% tax on the profits, and of course there is 1% TDS on the transactions. So how is that 30% tax calculated in India? So here, when we say every digital asset, it can be a number, a token, or whichever is generated using a cryptographic mechanism is taxed at 30%, and it has 1% of TDS. So let's take an example. So let's say that you have purchased a cryptocurrency, or maybe let's say that you have sold it, and for INR 5,000, and then if you have got a profit of 500 rupees on that, then it is a 30% of slab flat tax on that, yeah, which is like 30% of 500 rupees, which is INR 150. Okay, so a lot of people were asking questions like, is it possible to avoid a crypto tax? There are different thoughts around it. For example, people think that they can use decentralized exchanges, DEX, in such a case, or maybe they can use P2P transaction and an exchange mechanism to avoid tax. But honestly, there is no simple way to manage this because decentralized exchanges are more complicated than centralized exchanges. Typically, when you really convert that to a fiat currency, or for example INR, you still have to pay taxes. So I would strongly recommend that we find no different ways to avoid taxes, but being in a good citizen mode of India, we shall really file taxes as defined as the Income Tax Act. So better to file taxes whenever you have a sale of a cryptocurrency. So let's see that how do you prepare ourselves, for example, in case of crypto tax payment. For example, it's very simple. You need to calculate your gains on every digital asset transactions you have made on or after 1st of April 2022 in Indian rupees. For example, you can, if you are using a P2P mechanism, then you would have a TAN number. So use the TAN number, and then you would really need to calculate the TDS deductions on a monthly basis and then file it on a quarterly level. So investors should pay 30% of tax while filing applicable income tax return. And then always I would suggest to use government portal to file the tax returns. I have a separate video which would describe how to file it in case of capital gains or in case of you having it as a business income. I would give that link as a follow-up on the description of this video. Okay, so a lot of people have questions like, hey, what's about airdrop? So how is it taxed? So in simple terms, airdrop is something like if you have been seen samples, product samples, right? In case of commercial products being introduced, you would have seen always the merchandiser would provide some free samples to a merchant, and then the merchant would give that samples, and then he would try to get the feedback from the customers, and then if it all goes well, it kicks into the original sales of the original product. So the airdrop is a similar mechanism. So it's like a new token, or whenever a non-fungible token is generated, it's just airdropped, so that people try to utilize that and trade in that. So the good news is that this won't come under the sale or exchange. However, there were two scenarios to it, right? One scenario is at the time of airdrop. So when at the time of airdrop, it will be considered as other income. So you are right in case if you are thinking that, hey, this won't get charged at 30% of flat tax rate. Yes, that is right. It would be taxed as per other income. So which will be as per your tax slab. In case if you are holding that as a scenario, so it means that you just continue to hold it, and then you generate some profits, and then you sell it, then the profits will be taxed at 30%. Okay, so the other point here is that what would creators or investors need to know about NFTs? So how are they taxed? So whether it's a cryptocurrency or an NFT, they fall under a virtual digital asset category. So they will be simply charged at 30% of profit, and then it carries with additional cess and charges. However, when if you look at the mining part of it, like an example, if you have mined and found a new cryptocurrency, or you created an NFT, it is not taxable yet because it is not yet sold. And then how is crypto salary taxed? Let's say that you have been a community manager, or you have been managing a startup where you have got your salary in cryptocurrency. Then there are two events to that. So one is that you just receive tax. So on receipt of tax, there is no, so let's say that you have received salary. There is no tax on receiving crypto salary. However, the tax will be deducted as per the tax salary slab at the end of the year whenever you are filing the taxes. Let's say that every time you receive salary, convert it, you cash it out into fiat currency or INR, then it will be simply taxed as per your tax slab. There is another event where you hold the salary for a period of time without cashing out, and then finally you sell it. Then there will be 30% of tax on the profit. So, in case of mining, yield farming, lending, and borrowing, how is this taxed? So, let's look at mining aspect first. So, looking at the income tax regulation which has been introduced, crypto asset is taxed only if it is sold, exchanged, or if it is relinquished. So, mining or yield farming, so will not come directly under this thing. So, mining will not be taxed. As per the finance bill, even you are allowed to expense the deduction. For example, you have incurred bills of electricity while mining that cryptocurrency, but let's say that you have mined the cryptocurrency, held it, and sold later, then the profit is taxed at 30%. Another aspect is about yield farming and lending and borrowing. So we have two scenarios to it. One scenario is that it is received as a reward. Let's say that then this will be taxed at market value as any other income, so payable at tax slabs. But let's say that you have cashed out, so the pay revenue tax as per the slab. You have to pay the revenues as per the tax slab. But let's say if you are holding that for a longer period of time, and if you're incurring some profits, so then pay 30% on the profits. However, in case of this, for yield farming and lending, etc., so you will be allowed to deduct the expenses incurred as a part of that. Thank you. Hope this has given you much clarity on different aspects of taxation regarding cryptocurrency, and whatever FAQs you have in your mind would have been resolved. If you have more questions, do post on this video. I hope you would share this video with your friends and colleagues as well, so that they would understand the implications. Do watch a detailed video about how do we file this in ITR 2 or ITR 3, depending upon the applicability of the income from cryptocurrency.